And it was Sunday night footy where Carlton get it done pretty convincingly over a wounded St Kilda. Let's have a listen to perhaps the next coach of the Blues, Josh Fraser. He spoke after the game.
My preference tonight is to not make it about me if possible. And the reason I say that is that it's a terrific night for our footy club. Our AFLW girls got a win tonight, and you see the work that they put in consistently. And on field, it was another step forward for our playing group. I do appreciate the questions around me, but right now I feel a lot of gratitude for the people that surround me and incredible coaching staff and people internally, and I think a lot of the credit around tonight's performance should be shared.
Flawless response to what has been a flawless campaign.
Perfect, isn't it? It is the epitome of perfection.
It's perfection. It's actual perfection. Look, I don't think they can give him the job considering he hasn't thought he's ready.
Is this a shift? Is this hang on?
No. But what I'm going to say here is, but it's going to be a very courageous committee if they don't select him.
Oh, hang on.
Is what I'm
saying.
saying.
You can't have it both ways.
No, because
have you shifted? Do you think he should get the job now?
No. My opinion is you just give it to the best candidate who thinks they're ready. And I think it's very difficult to give it to a coaching candidate who has said right throughout the process for the best part of 10 weeks that I'm not ready. So that's...
He hasn't said I'm not ready.
I can go and find you...
He has said...
15 times. I asked him to his face at the Sunday night game at the MCG earlier on in the year. I asked him. He said, look, I'm not putting my hand up. I'm not ready.
I'm not sure I'm ready.
I've heard it.
You never know whether you're ready is the discussion.
It's just my view, and I get the counter view. And
I think this is absolutely first class what he's done.
So I agree with that.
He's developed a game plan now that has more punish than Carlton's ever had. So they don't necessarily have to dominate clearance. They don't even have to dominate for intercept, because when they do win the ball back, they get it on the scoreboard. And that's I think, the feature of the new age coaches. I look at Stephen King, and we'll get to that game later. They're very similar. The way that they excite and explode, and it works for everyone.
So I know you said it last week, but you'd give him the job.
I'd give him the job
this week.
Well, I still think it's wise to go through the process and make sure that he's got all points of the compass covered, and work out where he's short, and say, okay, we think you're short here. Maybe we need to fatten the edges, get this type of person into support, that type of person into support. And if he's happy with that, then you're rolling. If he's not happy with that, then you say, well, hang on, now we've got a problem. I'm sure it'll be fine. You just got to get your hands on the wheel. I mean, there's only 18 jobs available in the country. How could you say no to it? How could you knock it back?
James Brayshaw brought up a good point to me last night off air. If he didn't get the Carlton job, should Essendon be asking the question of Josh Fraser? Should they be asking the question, or is it too late for that?
Feels like it's too late. Feels like he's in for this kick and this kick only. What about? I couldn't help but think your man Frankie Evans. He had a pretty good night.
Frankie, how many score involvements for Frankie in the end?
Frankie had
double digits.
10.
Yeah.
Number one, I thought, that's going to get some feedback on the old SMS temper text.
He's got always covered at the moment, doesn't he?
So the nonsense. We'll get the wild card versus top 8 discussion in a moment, but they're almost locked in. They're almost locked in.
Almost.
It's just a percentage. If they lost their last two, they might be in a bit of strife, or up for debate. But the Saints aren't passing them. Let's be honest. Where do you sit with them? Can they win a wild card final?
They can win a wild card final. Yeah, why not? Their form line is better than any other team. They've won 12 quarters in a row. The club record is 13. And think about
12 quarters.
12 quarters in a row they've won. Their club record is 13. Think of the great Carlton teams of the past. They weren't able to win 12 quarters in a row. So, yeah, I do like their ball movement. Now, St Kilda were woeful, and we'll get to them, and the pressure just wasn't there. Their defensive system was just all at sea, trying to be really aggressive frontal position, just getting picked apart. I hadn't seen that from Carlton ever. That was always the criticism of it. Really strong contested clearance team, but couldn't move the footy. Now they can move it. Hewitt's doing his thing. Cripps is doing his thing. Senior players are playing well. So, yeah, I think they can win a wild card.
I've had this discussion regularly, and the old man loves this discussion, so he'll love us talking about this. when we have caretaker coaches, they come in and they just coach. They don't do any of the other stuff, right? And then every coach that looks outside and says, "Oh, he's only just coaching.
Yes.
He's only just doing the game. He's not doing the marketing. He's not doing the media.
Yeah.
He's not setting strategy and doing lists." And the discussion that is had by those outside of footy is, well, why don't you just do that? If this is the returns that you're looking to get, why don't you minimise the edge? Distractions.
Well, that's what every coach says. I thought I was ready, but I didn't realise the responsibilities that were going to be placed upon me. So you're saying, and it's a reasonable discussion to have. Don't go to list management. Don't fly to Perth, Sam Mitchell, and try and recruit players. You just coach the team. Do your scheduled media conferences that you have to and you're required to do, and then coach the team.
Yeah, you're a
That's it.
first yearer. Right, don't
No
consume
functions
with this other stuff.
No sponsors functions.
Let's just protect him. Let's just make the job as
Is
easy
that
as
possible?
we can.
Is that realistic?
Well, it has to be.
Everyone wants a piece of the coach.
Yeah, I understand that, but at the end of the day, the coach winning games solves everything and corrects it. The marketing department, if you said to them, "Look, we can win 17 games this year, or you can have 45 hours with the coach, which do you want?"
Yeah.
That
want the
winning
games.
sells everything. So
So where do you limit it? Does the senior coach not go and watch the VFL? Does he only worry about? Does he have others?
does everything.
Does he have others that take care of going to watch the VFL? And
He
then
does the VFL.
Does he?
Yeah.
So then, where do you stop it then?
Well, anything marketing related, anything, even media. I'd even just. I know we have to talk to the coach on. We love getting the coach on, and we always ask for the coach. We do, but the easy interviews, the
Hey,
things that
Triple
don't
H,
take.
any luck with Damien Hardwick this morning? No luck. No. Sun said no.
Well,
okay, well,
Let's
the
not-
Sun should be crying out.
Mate, I hate coming here.
The Sun should be crying out for as much media as
They've
they
been
can
pretty good to
possibly
us.
get.
They've been pretty good.
Have
to
they?
us.
We ever had Hardwick on?
Across the year, they've been pretty good. Well, if you keep doing this, we'll never get him on. Another one.
Wow.
We'll never get on. No, I would like a club to tell me why they couldn't tailor a role like that, especially for Josh first
I
year.
like it. All right, let's talk about the most famous hamstring in the country other than Max King's right now, and that is Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller. It went bang early in the first quarter. Ross Lyon was asked about it post-game.
When he see me at half time, he just gave me a bit of a hug, really. So he's a positive person, but hopefully it turns out not too significant. So it's weird. We had an 8-day break, so played Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, half day Tuesday, normal 3K, a T1 Wednesday, Thursday off, Friday our normal T2. They train well, Saturday off. So we worked them. So we're scratching our heads a little bit on the soft tissue.
And we'll get Tom's thoughts on it as well, because there was some conjecture about whether he would play. I certainly saw some concern over him, not linking those two, but I'm just glad he didn't go with it's a tight hammy. He's having scans, and I'll get back to you. But I haven't spoken to him. I'm glad that attitude has shifted slightly.
It's a disaster.
It
isn't
is a disaster. And from the minute he popped that, they weren't winning that game of footy. You could see how dejected everyone was. But is it a concern how reliant they can be mentally and physically and structurally on one player?
Yeah, and whilst he's an incredibly important player to them, the reason they lost this game is not Naz. They couldn't defend.
They couldn't defend.
They couldn't interrupt, and they couldn't. They actually couldn't find, on a defensive sense, they couldn't stop Carlton. And then when they did win the ball back, it was uncharacteristic the way they couldn't move the ball as well as what they. And it's not just all Naz. I mean, he's a component of that. But the system normally takes over a little bit. They didn't score at all. I don't reckon out of their back half.
No, they didn't. They didn't kick a goal. I think Carlton kicked 6
there
or
we go.
7.
3 points from 60-odd opportunities. I mean, that's a disaster.
Well, I thought they could have done some different things with personnel. So Hill was a bit sore as well. So he was the one they wanted to generate the ball movement. But why not put Wilson behind them? Why not put Wilson a halfback? He couldn't touch it early. Didn't have a kick in the first quarter. Naz goes down. I'm thinking, put Darcy Wilson across halfback and tell him to go and get as much footy as you possibly can get. He didn't do anything.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this. I hate saying this, right? But it's they've got a few that go down and stay down and carry on a little. I'd
The
just like
Bronfiles?
to see. Yeah, I think Ryan and Hilly need to fight through a couple.
I thought Hilly might never play again
and
when he
straight back up.
clutched at that knee.
Like just little things that annoy me. But
You got to be careful though with that.
I do.
You've got to
So
be
I'm
really
being
careful.
very careful with it.
Really careful.
But there are familiar names on there. Mason Wood didn't help the fact that he went down early. Oh, look, there's just so many little things with St Kilda that I know Ross is trying to correct. But in the end, it's going to be a disappointing season.
So can I officially say the season's been a failure? Because Ross has been reluctant to say that. He would keep trying to spin the narrative that we've improved and the ex-St Kilda players will go and pluck their sort of handcrafted stats that will paint the picture that they've improved. I'm telling you what, they're 9-12, sitting in 11th position, having not beaten a top 10 team and getting smacked by a club that sacked their coach earlier on in the year. Can we just call it out that year 4 of Ross has been a failure? Is that too strong? And are people going to disagree with that?
I think
You can't.
a failure's strong.
They're 11th, Kingy. It's
Yep.
year 4. They've spent their salary cap
Yep.
and they have not beaten a top 10 team. So do not get anyone, former St Kilda players, Ross Lyons spinning it, that there's been improvement this year.
It's different personnel. So that I just want to put that there. I think that there
There
is a
always
shift.
is.
Yeah, well, I'm just giving you some facts. There is a shift with the personnel, and there's a different. There are younger players taking more responsibility.
equal with
for the
North.
footy club. Yeah, no, I think they had them winning 11 games, and so 9, 2 to go. They're probably not going to have much success in the next 2 weeks without Naz. No, they're unders. There's no doubt about that.
Saints fans, you're the easily satisfied supporter group in the country. Are you feeling a little bit of disappointment this morning? 0433 98 11 16.
Harry Dean versus Jagger Smith.
Oh, man. Jagger Smith, but Dean couldn't do any more, really, could he?
They're going to have some fun with him, aren't they?
The bit where the collision closest to the interchange bench and then he got involved again
Yeah.
and the composure to kick inside, I thought, whew,
His kicking's a lot better
his
than
kicking's got
against-
so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do they? All right, the $1 million question. Do they jump now on Wiedering, or do they say no? We need someone to play in the big boppers while the young bloke
Well,
develops.
this is the thing. Like, so they get that done without Wiedering, and St Kilda fans say we didn't have Naz, but they didn't have Wiedering. And how
Well, wow,
important-
Carlton without Wiedering.
How important's he been? So
The wow, Carlton versus
I
other,
would look at options
Yeah.
and offers. That's what I would do. And because Chris Davies has been telling us on Fireball 3 times that their
Yeah.
list isn't good enough.
put a big sign out the front, expressions of interest, and just see what comes. Just see what comes.
Tough real estate market at the moment.
Yeah.
Auction clearance rates
You
are
never-
down,
I'll
but you
take-
never know.
Because I could use that real estate board for this if need be.
Well, the Saints might need Wiedering. They had a crack at him a few years ago, didn't they? And
Oh, the
I'm
Dogs-
telling you, Caminiti's not going to cut it behind the
I
ball.
wouldn't have thought so.
No.
They're a serious footy team, so we came here today wanting to challenge them and test ourselves as much as them. To walk away from a game like that, which felt like a fairly intense game, like a final, yeah, really proud of our group. But I mean, sometimes those results don't go your way, and I would have my pride in this group wouldn't have wavered at all. It probably would have built belief anyway. But to actually get a scalp above us here, to beat a team like that, you know, we probably shows where we've come as a group from earlier in the year in round 2. So yeah, immensely proud is probably the best way for me to describe it.
All right, Stephen King speaking on his emotions after that incredible game where they knocked off the top of the table Fremantle Dockers. They are now in the top 6, equal 4th really, on wins. Their percentage not as strong as Brisbane and Adelaide, about 10 percentage points behind. But his interview in the change rooms I thought was excellent on with you. So
Yep.
so well done. And I thought it was a...
Super Saturday, Fox Footy, KO.
I thought it was a great...
Is that what you meant?
No, it was just a good interview.
Sorry.
Just a good interview.
Okay.
Now you've sort of got
What did he get you?
off track.
What-
I thought if I was a player and I wanted to go to a club, I thought that was a great advertisement to go and play for Melbourne. That's what I thought. I thought, gee whiz, I'd love to play for him. That's how I thought. He wants to celebrate his players. He wants his players to be great. He wants to play the right way. He wants to play fun footy. He wants everyone to get involved. He wants to score. He wants the crowd to come out. There was heaps in it. So I thought, I wonder if Zach Butters is sitting there. Now, it's too late for Zach Butters. I get it. We asked Stephen King ourselves on that. He said that horse is bolted. But It was I'd like to play for him, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think that's a great shout. There's a lot of early Craig McRae about Stephen King. I want flair. I want you to show me what you got. We want to set you up to succeed. And then I'll lean on a few. Like I saw him in the rooms after the game. So all the players come in, and sometimes you can tell whether things are a bit manufactured or they're genuine, right? They're real. And he let the group half form their circle for the song, and then he went out of he made a beeline for Max. And Max was the only one he went to. Straight to Max. Hey, special effort, big fella. Right? Because his last 15 minutes was terrific. When the game was looking to have slid. I think he's got a bit of a rapport with these guys that's only building. Now, it is first year, and it's easy. It's easy first year to just let them play, and there's no expectation on us. I think this is like when Luke Beveridge took over from Brendan McCartney. They had the contest and the defence stuff programmed in, and they hated it because it was a bludgeoning type game plan, and it was a little bit boring, right? But they learned how to win their own ball. Bevo came in and brought some handball game and some ball movement, and they just coexisted beautifully, what they'd learnt and where they were going. I think this is the same. I think the Simon Goodwin model has taught a lot of these guys contest and how to win their own ball, and now the ball movement and the flair has jumped on the back. I think he's done a great job in a short space of time.
That was the other thing I noticed with that. With the interview with the Gorn, he said that's a directive from Max. When his opponent goes off, I'm staying out there. And so Luke Jackson goes off, and just that, it was a good battle. I don't think Gorn was at his best all game, but he was at his best when he needed to be at his best. And so any chinks in the Fremantle armour?
Well, before we leave Melbourne, Petty's had a fantastic patch. Let's give him a shout.
A few people tweeting me
That's
about
all right.
Harrison Petty.
Not worried about them.
He did look really strong in the air. So that's the standard. I think the inconsistencies with Harrison Petty is what the frustrating thing is. So can you stand up and compete on the biggest stage? Well, that was a pretty good audition for the finals. I'm still not sold he's a viable option as a key forward long term, but we'll see.
Good to see Cozzy back in really good form.
And
obviously we've touched on Max, who's having the best ruck year we've seen, and Hoyne's talked about that regularly. The first team to genuinely tag Murphy Reid, and have they created a headache for this young man?
Well, that's why I wanted to ask about the chinks in the armour.
Well, it's one thing to assign someone to Murphy Reid, and the first one was always probably going to get the wicket because he had to handle it. And Tholstrup did a great job, stuck to the task all day, picked him up after centre bounce, was just outstanding. And he's having it. For a guy that I didn't really think was going to make it, really, has had a fantastic 6 to 8 weeks playing on all the sneaky small forwards. But this is a problem now for Murphy Reid, because it's going to happen right through this final series.
And rightly so, and it should. I always used to love tagging someone who hadn't been tagged ever before. It was the best. It was just like ripe for the picking. They don't know what to do. Now, he'll get better. Like, he's a second-year player. It's amazing what he's done. But he's going to have to work his way through how he goes about this, because he doesn't have great athleticism or explosive speed. He's just a genuine footballer. So he is absolutely taggable, because how's he going to get away? Like, I don't think he's endurance. He's not going to run you off your feet. Not great speed. He's just really smart.
They didn't help him either.
Nah. Well, and they'll look through that and they'll address that. The beauty of the Fremantle side is if you're going to go him, then Shea Bolton, and he had his moments where he looked really dangerous. Then you need Brayshaw and Sarong and Young to carry the burden when the others get the attention. So didn't think their midfield was at their best.
There's a moment in the game, I should have gone and researched when it exactly was, but it was Patrick Voss steaming inside 50, Josh Tracy offside running, clear as clear, in the corridor. I think they were just above 2 goals up. I want to say 14 points. I might be wrong.
Can you get me a time code? Because I'll do that on Watchtower tonight.
He burnt him,
Thanks.
right?
Watchtower.
And the game swung. I'll get the time code for you. It's a bad one.
Okay, well, the coach, I think, referenced that after the game.
Oh, clearly would have helped save us a goal, which probably wins us a game, right? And probably lacked a bit of leadership down there. We weren't able to turn the tide. I thought we were average behind the ball, our back six. Marks are one thing. I thought we were poor at ground level all day. Yeah, and then, like for Petty to take that mark in the goal square in pack, pretty much uncontested late in the game, we've got to get body on in that moment and get that through. So, but then, the other end in the last quarter, I thought we had we had more inside 50s in the last quarter. We could have found someone in a better position on at least 2 or 3 of them, which would have made it certain goals. So, yeah, we just lacked a bit of composure today.
Right.
14 points up.
Yep.
16-25, fourth quarter. Now, if the roles are reversed, Tracy hits Voss. And he had the goals in mind. He wanted to personally make it 20 points. Now, I can understand that psyche as well, because there are times where we go, he took responsibility for the club and knocked it through. But you got to kick it. When you make that decision, you got to kick it. And it's almost game over at 20 points. So they're big moments, and they're learning tools. And you just hope it doesn't come back to bite that sort of moment later in the year.
So they won't be back there on the G, hopefully for them until grand final day. Any skeletons here? Any concerns at all? No? You've had the Premiership Pie dominated by Freo.
And
absolutely dominated.
And it's going up.
Are you worried they don't like jumping on a plane and playing at the MCG?
No, not concerned at all. I think the coach summed it up perfectly.
Okay.
Pierce plays, he saves 3 goals.
Righto.
They win.
Righto. Your Premiership Pie coming up. No first crack. No, don't laugh. Don't laugh.
It's a Fox thing.
Do not laugh.
It is a...
It wasn't done last night. Your Premiership Pie ballers, they've demanded it, will be on the other side of this.
They won't get it.
There was some timid Adelaide performances. Ooh. Shout out to Riley Thilthorpe, who just doesn't love body contact at the moment. As poor a game as you'll see him play, not his conditions, but yeah, some strong review needed at Adelaide. In the end, they averted disaster, getting it done against a good Richmond side. That was Matthew Nicks. What I don't understand, right, from a Richmond point of view, there was 2 pivotal coaching moves that were made, and credit to Matthew Nicks. He put Jordan Dawson behind the ball because Richmond small forwards were getting in and behind them time after time. So he's gone, you know what, I'm going to put my best player behind the ball, play as that wicketkeeper, and Adamuze did nothing. He thought, well, we've got Loston up the other end, he's pretty handy, so we'll go spare v spare. That wasn't going to get it done, particularly when they needed to chase the game. And then Rankin had... For me, the best individual game I've seen this year. Now, others can argue. You could even say Matty Rowell on the weekend, for example, had one of the great individual games. But for me, the game from Rankin was the best individual game I've seen this year. His third quarter, have you got the game up there, Mr. Labman?
Yeah.
His third quarter, now from memory, it reads
12.
13 disposals. They might have taken one off him.
Yep.
It reads 1 goal. It reads 8 contested possessions, something like clearance. How many clearances?
3.
3 in that third quarter. And then we start the last quarter and you're going, well, there's only 2 people that are going to win this for Adelaide, and it's Rankin and it's Dawson. You know what Uze's plan was with Rankin? I'm going to put Lawler on him. I'm going to start Prestia at centre bounce on Rankin. Can't run. And I'm going to put then Lawler at the first stoppage on Rankin. This is what I don't get with coaching. Why do coaches not take something away? And I don't know who it was, but I don't really care who it was. It's definitely not Lawler, who couldn't really run on the night, unfortunately. He's not quite fit enough. In the last quarter on Rankin, I don't get it.
I'm going to vote that the second dumbest thing of the weekend. I'll give you my dumbest later
we
on.
did this at the start of the year, the dumbest coaching moves of the year, after Bevo put Darcy in the ruck.
I've got one that'll match it later, but
that's up there though.
Rankin it's a special performance.
Oh, man.
It really is. And you let that style of player take the game from you, you really want a good reason. Like when you sit down this morning at Match Committee, the Monday's experts discussion, right? Someone will say amongst the 6 coaches, you reckon how we go with Rankin, do you reckon? Like, it's cost you the game.
What was our plan with Rankin? Let's put Lawler on Rankin when he's already hot.
So they're the things that anger me with, and they're intelligent people, these guys, right? You can't have a group of 6 to 8 coaches and then come up with a plan that actually suits the Crows. I don't understand that.
So he is the drive for show, putt for dough, for golf clearance outlet. We beat everyone's prices. The team crew came in and gave us some special little treats the other day, which we appreciate. So if you're after golf stuff, golf clearance outlet, golf's biggest brands, best range, and we beat everyone's prices.
So he saved Nixie.
Well, he saved Nixie.
Him
and Dawson saved Nixie.
Yeah,
without those 2,
100%.
you just don't win that game of footy.
Yeah. So what do you do with Thilthorpe?
Wow. This is I was actually going to put him in the gun last week, and I wished I did because I thought, well done, you beat up on Essendon.
You need a 6-shooter. You need.
Well done, you beat up on Essendon, Riley. You're back. Everyone, oh, Riley's back. Wow. And Tex wasn't far behind him, mind you. Now, Tex gets a lot more credits because he's not in the prime of his career like Riley Philthorpe. But Anand gave him one of the great baths I've ever seen. This is a 9-gamer. I don't know why he wasn't on the list. So there were a lot of, this is a disappointing thing for Richmond. There were a lot of positives out of that game. It was as good as I've seen them play for a long, long time. But I think the coach cost them the game. I can't question the effort of the players. Campbell's a gun. We've spoken about him before.
They got everything they wanted.
Everything
they wanted.
to the conditions.
The whole package. It was everything they wanted, and all they had to do was one or two things. And it felt like it went for 30, 40 minutes.
Forever.
Like, are they going to address this or not?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not. Yeah, people come at me for being a bit harsh on Ooze, but I think you get limited opportunities when you're at this stage to win games, and when you're right there, that's where we want to see it.
All right, your Premiership Pie coming up.
I'm not doing a pie. I told you it's a Fox
see.
thing.
Well,
I don't reheat.
if you're not doing a pie, we haven't had enough
This
pies.
is why you're the klepto. You're stealing stuff again.
No. We haven't had enough pies in footy media.
Footy pie.
Turkey Tom's been doing the pie. 4 and 20 been doing the pie. There's been the Wheel of Blame, which is a pie which I invented.
Pie.
So
Pie.
we are
Pie,
going
pie,
to
pie,
do
pie.
a team fireball Premiership pie.
No, we're not.
We are. On the other side of this. Time now for the biggest loser. For boss stick quality you can trust and rely on, available at your local hardware and construction specialist. For me, it was Port Adelaide, the biggest loser for the weekend. Not only for the performance in the second quarter, but just my heart went in my mouth. No point watching them if my man's not out there.
Who are you going to cheer for?
I don't know.
In your JHF tracksuit pants. I thought the
horny one.
We'll get to the game soon, but I thought Hawthorn were the biggest loser. I thought that they were going to give a great sight last Friday night, and I think most had the game 50-50.
Yeah, I had them winning.
Yeah, so for me, their performance would have them the biggest loser.
I tell you who else was a big loser. My boy Marby Old Chol.
Now,
where's the music? Where's the music when you need it?
I had in my notes here. I was going to say they'll be better when Marbior gets back. Did he play?
Aiden Schubert or Marby Old Chol?
Schubert.
Oh, was he trying?
What happened?
My
he just
man
shifted around.
It was the biggest slap in the face I've ever had.
My
watching
Twitter was lighting up.
Oh. And the
Lighting
commentary
up.
team kept going, is he fit?
Is he fit?
Right to.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting watch because I've watched.
4 to the floor or what?
I saw what you did with Denver Granger Barras. Got him off the list within 18 months. And Marbior is in real trouble.
Real trouble.
Oh.
Real trouble. Right, Premiership Pie. Team Premiership Pie. Are you
No, I'm out. I'm abstaining.
You're not putting your name to this.
No, I'm just voting for you.
Okay, all right. Well, there's not enough pies, as I said, in footy media at the moment.
What are you
So
going
the
with?
Fireball Premiership Pie.
Yours.
5% Geelong.
You've got to
5.
start with the big wedge.
No, I'm
Start
just
with
starting from the bottom. It's my pie.
All right, sorry.
A nice, just a nice, neat slice for Geelong at 5%.
Cameron back this week, Holmes in
Yeah,
a few weeks.
all of that. Just don't write off Chris Scott. And I think they'll
You
use
have
this
5%
latest
sort
concussion overreaction to fuel them and to give them some extra motivation. Us against the world. My Hawks, the loss they needed to have, similar to Brisbane the previous week. Similar to Brisbane the previous week. Okay? It's just going to kick them into gear.
Oh, I can't wait to do the game.
10%.
10.
10%
That's a lot
for the
lower
Hawks.
than what they would have been Thursday.
Just 5% for Sydney.
This is a strange way of doing the pie. 10, 5, 10.
They've just gone around.
Sydney, maintain the faith.
Just 5%.
Yep.
Even though they're second, I just think I don't think they're genuine premiership contenders. Melbourne, a nice slice because the grand final is played on the MCG. They are 10-1 on the MCG and just knocked off the top team. You have not given them any love in your pie.
No.
There's been no Melbourne in your pie. A nice
They won't be winning it.
10% slice.
Waste of 10%.
10% slice for the
Yep.
Demons.
Yep.
Freo at 35%.
35?
35, yep.
That's ridiculous.
No, it's not. That's not ridiculous at all. What
35?
have they proven yet?
What have they done?
To get a bigger
They've been
slice?
17 games clear on top.
35% is a good slice, but the MCG presents a challenge,
Right.
and Brisbane at 45. 45%
Brisbane
slice.
in front of
Of course I
Fremantle.
do. Well, how could you not? How could you not have Brisbane, who are going to finish in the top 4, with that list
Didn't Freo smack
and
them?
that momentum?
Didn't they smack them in
And
Brisbane?
that momentum, yeah, there was a different looking Brisbane unit.
Oh, right.
It was.
Okay.
45%. My pie.
Yep, your pie.
Good pie.
Footy pie.
Good
Does
pie.
that add up to 100?
I hope so. I really, really hope so. Because I've counted it 5 times. And I'm still not sure. What haven't we spoken about?
No,
We can skip over the Sydney game, can't we? Like, who cares?
no, they're power in the second quarter, and they may have found a couple of players. So
Yeah.
I think they've found a couple of players. I really like Kyle. I think that he's going to be a very good player. And is it Detoli? Is it Detoli?
I think so,
I thought
yeah.
he was terrific
Yeah.
in that second term on the left peg,
Not-
laced one out.
Not much opposition, but
No, but you can only beat what's in front of you.
you
and
can. You can.
Should be a good time to watch Port Adelaide over the next few years.
Well, that's a very good point.
I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, I'm
I'm
not.
just going to watch you every Monday.
Well, I think I've been pretty consistent forecasting this 12 months out of the way it's going.
Yep.
That it wasn't the coach's fault; it was the list's fault.
Okay. Well,
I know you are.
I think if you've been in charge of the list for 13 years, you do have some responsibility.
Not now.
No,
Not now.
not today.
So who are you going to blame now?
Blame?
Yeah.
What,
You've been
why is
blaming
it-
Kenny
why,
for.
Why do I
You've
have
been
to blame?
blaming Kenny for 10 years. Who are you going to blame now?
Just.
Oh no.
Oh, this is brilliant.
That's not true.
This is brilliant. Forget Kenny. This is outstanding. If your pie adds up to 110%,
Hang on.
this will make my day.
45, 35, 10.
Does it add up to 110?
I think there might be an error.
No wonder you got
Just
so
a-
many teams in
Just a
there.
clerical error
You
here.
got 110%.
We'll sort this out.
Leave the
Too
pies
many
to
pies.
the experts.
Too many pies.
Leave it to the.
See, I created the pie. You come and steal it with your premiership rubbish.
At
and
least
then...
it adds up to 100.
All right, that was
Oh, that's gold.
the premiership pie. A nice dose and helping of fireball for the first 2 hours. If you missed any of that, our first thoughts on all the significant games and storylines still to come. Daniel Hoyne is here, standing by live in the studio.
horrified with your maths.
Laptop out. Cannot believe my maths and how poor it has been. But right now, the best one of in the business.
Oh, he's walked that back.
Tax-
He's walked that back. He's walked it
Tax
back.
assured specialist
that
ACA
again.
tax debt negotiators. Don't let tax debt keep you up. And I just don't want him to get ahead of himself. I just want to keep him
He's the
hungry.
best. He's the
I want to
best.
keep him hungry and with eyes on the prize. Tom
whiz.
Morris, I'm talking about. He joins us live in the studio if you don't mind. Tom, welcome.
Morning, Kane. Morning, Kingy. It's been a while since we've sat here in the studio together for
good.
various issues.
110% my favourite.
Yeah.
It is cricket week. The test against Bangladesh
You
starts on
always
Thursday.
give 110%, don't
Always.
you? Yeah.
Try my best.
Yeah.
Try my best.
And that's the last cricket reference. I'm
Yeah.
just ignoring it. But if you want to watch the cricket, you can watch it live and free on Channel 7.
And you can listen to it on SCN
And
as well.
a big week for Cam Green.
Snooze fest.
if he
Big
plays.
week for Cam Green. Yes. Okay, the big story of the week, and still to come, my top 10 overreactors to what has been a storm in a teacup. You see it. You see it slightly differently. Where are we at?
No, I think it's a big
with
story.
Geelong's concussion issue.
Well, I just want to lay out the timeline of this and make it clear why this document was signed entirely separately to the contract that was signed for Jake Kolodajny to play on in 2024. So he's actually played under these conditions, if you can call them that, or under this framework for 3 seasons, not 2. This was signed in February 2024. And then he re-signed to play on for 2 seasons in October 2024. So there was an eight-month gap there, which his manager, I'm told, or supposedly or apparently or allegedly wasn't aware of these conversations in the first place. So the document was a 2-month process. This was not Geelong saying, here, sign this, do it, or you're done. This was a 2-month process. Doctors, Geelong, his advisors, family, all involved. And as I said, February 2024. It is inconceivable to think that Geelong had not one, but 2 opportunities to lodge this with the AFL, and they failed to do so both times. Any amendment to a contract, you have to lodge with the AFL. They didn't do it in February 2024, and then when he actually re-signed, it wasn't part of the lodgement in October 2024, and which is why the Cats are in big trouble financially.
That's the error.
That's the crux of the error.
Not letting the AFL know.
Not letting the AFL know. And that is why they're facing potentially a 6-figure fine. So the Commission had a phone hookup on Saturday morning, as we reported on Crunch Time. Craig Drummond wasn't on that phone hookup. And the only sanction that was discussed was a financial sanction. So people saying draft picks and other things, that still might be the case. I don't think it will be, but that wasn't discussed on Saturday morning. And then today, the Geelong board is meeting in an emergency board meeting.
So you say that like if they had have lodged it, it would have got through.
I don't know whether it would have got through. I suggest it would not have got through, but I think there would have been a bit of back and forth. So in the end, something got through. So something would have ended up being in the contract or in the agreement that recognised the risk that Jake Kolodjasny was putting himself in when he was playing.
And that's where I think the Players Association need to be incredibly strong and not allow that to get through.
You don't think they've been strong enough?
No. This is a major situation we've got on our hands, and they're there for every player.
Yeah, but they weren't aware of this initial document.
That's what I'm saying. Like if it does go up the chain, the AFLPA need to knock that on the head.
Yeah.
So how did you see the media performance from the club and the AFL? Because Sammy Edmund was here on Friday, and at that stage, information was just sort of coming out, and the AFL had sort of watered it down with their statement. He had said, we need all these questions answered. Andrew Dillon was open to all those questions. How did you think he performed?
No, I think Andrew Dillon was good on Crunch Time on Saturday. I think the fact that Craig Drummond had to release a statement on Thursday night, then again on Saturday morning, is incredibly embarrassing for him and the AFL. Like if he'd released the Saturday statement on Thursday, that would have circumnavigated a lot of the issues. So I think the AFL trying to water it down the way they did on Thursday, and then Geelong the way they did, and then the PA, for some reason that I still can't get my head around, connecting themselves with the league statement, was just a litany of errors on Thursday. They ended up mopping it up a little bit on the weekend, but it was too late by then. The horse had bolted. So I think the initial statements from all those parties was well
and
off.
Steve Hocking and Chris Scott, how did you think they performed?
I think Steve Hocking tried to minimise it too much.
Said he wouldn't have done a whole lot different.
Yeah, which I think that's an error from him. I think he said that on K-Rock as well. And then Chris Scott, I understand. Now, people will be critical of Chris Scott, but I think the most predictable outcome for the weekend was Chris Scott saying, this is not in my remit, I'm the coach of the team. And in fairness to Chris Scott, he always speaks like this. It's not like he picks and chooses that he's got influence over the entire club. Every press conference he does, he says, no, this is not my area. I don't really know what's going on. So should he have known what's going on? Well, that's the same question for James Hird at Essendon on a larger issue 10 years ago. But I think it's fair to suggest that the intricacies of a player's contract, the coach isn't necessarily across.
As a journalist, how hard is it ethically when you're talking about players' medical records?
Difficult ethically and legally as well, in order to write this and speak about it, and clearly not ideal for Jake Kolodjasny, and he came out and said he was the player. But I just can't get my head around the fact that this 2-month process in early 2024 took place with an amendment to his contract, and his manager and therefore the AFL Players Association weren't informed. I just can't get my head around why that was the case. And it was detailed. This is not just one line where you go, yep, you waive away all your rights. This is a detailed, long document that is...
Who was his manager?
So it was Marty Pask at the time, who I'm happy to say this morning I've spoken to, and he maintains he wasn't across this document. He was across the contract negotiations towards the end of the year. And in that contract at the end of the year, there was some salary cap protection for Geelong if he did get medically retired in 2025. So he knew that. But this extra document he had no visibility on.
See, that's one area where I'd love the Players Association to put in a document ahead of time. If anyone acts outside, develops a new contract outside of the CBA platforms that are already there, you lose your accreditation. And there's some pretty serious money we're talking about with that. So I would take control of that ahead of time.
Yeah, so this is Rule 4.3, and that's why I think Geelong's going to be heavily fined, because they didn't inform the
You're
AFL.
saying $100,000 fine and any further sanctions?
I'd be surprised that, based on what I know of the conversations on Saturday, I'd be surprised if there was any further sanctions beyond that.
How quickly will they wrap this up? Do you
Well,
think?
I think the AFL would like to wrap it up quickly. I mean, Geelong meeting today, they'd like to wrap it up this week. But then there'd be an opportunity for Geelong to respond as well, because in the end, they've been issued with a please explain.
Do you think there'll be any movement at all? Because
At commission level?
at the top of the tree,
So far, Craig Drummond has released 2 statements and has given no indication to anyone that he would step down. I would love to know whether the presidents think he should step down or whether the rest of the commission think he should step down. The conversations I've had with senior people in the AFL and around the AFL are that this is an issue for Craig. So,
do
yeah.
you think the vote 1 Kane Corns Marga is over?
It's got legs.
Look, it's got some sort of momentum.
Is it dead in the water before it
I'm
starts?
not sure. I'll tell you what's not dead in the water. I spoke to a couple of people on the weekend. There's a feel that if Craig Drummond does step down, there might be an SOS to Eddie Maguire. Go and be the chairman of the AFL.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be unbelievable?
That'd be content.
That would be content.
For us all.
Yeah, it'd be incredible. Yeah. So this will play out over the next week or so, but it's a regrettable incident from Geelong, and you feel sorry for the player in this case as well. Yeah. And poor management from the AFL in the 48 hours since.
As an aside, the fact that his medical records have been published and are out in the public forum, is there anything likely to come there legally, do you think?
Not that I'm aware of, no. What I do find fascinating as well, to use your word, Kane, is the fact that the concussion panel can give a ruling or determination which is not green, it's not red, it's orange or amber.
Yeah.
So the concussion panel is saying we have insufficient evidence to retire you, but you're at more risk.
So
that
then-
that can't happen.
So then the club says, well, we need protection. So you can see how it has
100%.
happened. And Geelong's biggest error is not telling the AFL. But I think every club should have the ability to be able to protect themselves when the concussion panel that doesn't even know if that player can play. Now, the risk here is that players' careers are the clubs just aren't going to take the risk. So if you're the Western Bulldogs, you cannot recontract Tom Liberatore, can you? Because of that risk that is now on you and the financial burden that it can cause if there's issues down the line.
Yeah,
so I just think players' careers, if there's any concern, that's it. Like, how could you take the risk if you're a club now?
It actually needs to be more binary. I know it's medically nuanced, but it needs to be more binary from the concussion panel. It needs to be red or green.
But it's not a red or green thing. Like, we can't even see, like, you can't diagnose these issues until, people it's just not easy. It's not as if you can go have a scan and that scan says your brain's good, your brain's not good, yes or no.
But it's
just
unfair
not
on the
that
club. It's unfair on the club.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So this is what Geelong have done that. And considering all the legal action that they've faced in the past, this is exactly like they should be able to do this. Now, tell the AFL
If you
that's
want to
your
put
biggest
finances first, yeah, do that.
No,
if
but you have
if you
to.
want to put
Do you want a
finances
game?
before safety,
do you want a
that's
game?
fine.
Like, because the
I
game
don't
is
want
not
a
going
game
to
at any
exist.
cost. I don't want a game at any cost.
Okay, so
I
don't have a game.
Back to the Lions versus the
Well,
Christians at the
But you're
Coliseum.
never going to have a game with zero risk. You can't. Don't have one.
No, it's not about zero risk.
Well, it is. That's what your perfect solution is: no tackling, no bumping, no high marks,
Who said
no
that?
head knocks.
I've never said that.
Well, you can't. It's
hang
black
on.
or white.
Don't say it's my perfect
No,
solution.
but it is.
I've never said that.
Well, what do you want then?
There are many things you can do, and it's happened overseas. I know for a fact Peter Jess, I think it's a Cincinnati University, they did something on NFL and made a whole host of changes to the game.
Yeah, but
NFL
it's still
is
violent. Still absolutely violent.
It's still a great game, right?
Yeah, and violent.
And they've taken
and
out
risky.
Yeah, but they've taken out a large
Yeah,
percentage.
as have we.
Whether it's in training, whether
Yep,
it's in
as have we.
preparation. No, we just scratched the surface in the
No,
last
we
12
haven't.
months.
The NFL,
In the last 12
you can
months.
get concussed in the NFL and come back far sooner than you can do it in the AFL. Tua's still playing. Tua's had this quarterback from Miami. He would have had repeated concussions. He's still there. He's come back. He's been knocked out. He's come back onto the ground when he's wobbly on his feet. We're miles ahead of the NFL.
No,
We are.
I disagree with
Oh, well,
you. They've made significant changes. No
Yeah, well,
head-to-head contact anymore. They protect the quarterback like they've never done before. You only
Well,
had a
so
certain
does-
amount of
but so
contact.
do we.
You only had a certain amount of contact training.
Yep.
They, padded sessions rather than full contact like it was. They've made a whole host of changes, and it's It's minimised their concussions by about 70%.
They
So the
still
AFL's
happen.
about to do that. The AFL's about to bring
But
in.
we've
we're
done
late.
all
We're
that.
late. No, we haven't started, mate.
Kingy, we've changed sling tackles. You used to be able to Byron Pickett front on bump.
Yeah.
There's
When did we do that? 18 months
a
ago?
long time ago.
No.
The Byron Pickett stuff.
Oh, the Byron Pickett stuff is clearly that's 5 years ago.
We've made significant change. But
Sling
you
tackle,
never,
we're still working our way through.
well, you get 3 weeks for a sling tackle now, so I think that's a good deterrent. Like,
We're starting to attack training sessions now, which is the next step of it, which should have been in 5 years ago. So we're late to the party with this stuff.
Just last one on this as well, from my perspective. The whole way this is played out, I think, is another example why it's best for the AFL and clubs and anyone in a situation that is regrettable to take full ownership initially without any weasel words, like to apologise and to actually take ownership. Craig Drummond, his statement on Thursday did not do that really. His statement on Saturday did. So why would he wait another 48 hours? That's to me
They can't afford any more of these small mistakes. There's been a series of small mistakes for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's just there's going to be a straw that breaks the camel's back on this.
right, you stick around for the agenda if you can do
Yes.
that for us. That injury update for Carbone lawyers, injured and need a good lawyer. You know what to do. Get Carbone on the phone. And fireballs for Kogan. Switch to a Kogan mobile low price phone plan. Kogan.com is clicking awesome. The agenda next. The agenda's for IMAR, protecting tradies and builders for over 35 years. Call 13 IMAR to get yourself covered today. Hoyne's going to join us live in the studio next. That is a big get for
That's a
us.
huge get.
A huge
Yeah.
get this morning. Tom
Nice
Morris
salary
is the
cap.
voice you are hearing in fine form. You just said to us you've got a little contract nugget. What is it?
Yes, so I believe Taylor Byrne is going to sign a 1-year deal at Carlton.
Well, there you go.
That little
It's
good young
about
player.
About as small a nugget as you're going to
Yeah,
get.
that is not even. Is
So,
that a nugget?
It's well, what do you mean?
Forget Zach Butters. Don't worry about Toby Green or Ben King. We've got Taylor Byrne signing a 1-year contract.
It's almost Zampa style.
You know what we do, Kingy? We bring you fresh information.
See, I would
Thank you
hold
very
if I
much.
was Taylor, I'd
Very
hold
good.
out. I'd
Why?
hold out.
Well, for what?
I want 2 or 3 years.
What, for another 3 weeks?
Just hold. He's playing. Just someone else will have him for more than 1 year.
Yeah, wow, okay. So there you go. See, it leads
He's
to a
in
discussion.
good form. Let's get to Essendon. Are they
Yes.
picking their coach this week?
Well, if it's Mark McVeigh, then it's more complicated than they would have liked because Essendon are playing against Sydney next weekend. So there's a few options. There's 3 options if you're Essendon and it's Mark McVeigh. Do you wait until after the game to name him as your coach? Do you name him this week and hope that the Sydney Swans let him go ahead of the game and potentially give off some pretty valuable IP to play against you? Or do you name him this week and allow him to coach against you on the weekend?
I don't think Essendon are going to be beating anyone.
No, but still, it might delay things a little bit. It might delay things.
Is it
Are
as
you
a
sure?
as a news hound?
One of the best, as you said.
Yes, one of
walked it
the
back.
best. Has it been very, very difficult to get information out of this and the Carlton process? I feel like they are giving zero. Both clubs, zero.
We knew when the interviews were on Thursday and Friday, didn't we? So we knew that Murray Davis and James Hird were Thursday. We knew that Jamie Graham and Mark McVeigh were Friday. We know what the final 5 is at Carlton. Although
It was 4, now it's 5.
Yep, including thanks to Sammy Edmund with Daniel Gian Syracusa. So I think it's been pretty.
You
pretty
think
good.
you've done a good job getting the
No,
information?
no. I think it's been as expected. I think the really heavy information has been difficult to get, but I think we broadly know where both processes are at.
All right.
No? What do you think?
I think they've done a remarkable job. I think there's been no information. I think it's been about as tightly held process from both clubs as I've seen.
Yeah.
So well done to them.
So Josh Fraser, I've said it for a week and a half. Like he'll put his hat in the ring. It's just a question of when he actually does make that official call public. But he'll be in for this coaching job, and then it's a question for Carlton whether they appoint him. And then the other question with Josh Fraser is if they appoint him and he misses out, does that stifle their momentum ahead of maybe a wildcard game?
That is a good question.
So does it delay their process as well? So that's something that hasn't been on the agenda for them for a few weeks because the wild card hasn't really been realistic until the last month or so. So that's something maybe they need to consider. I asked Josh Fraser that in the presser last night, and fair enough. He said he hasn't considered it. I wonder if Chris Davies and Graham Wright are thinking about that.
Did you ask Ross
absolutely.
Lyon any questions last night?
I wasn't in the Ross Lyon presser last night. I was on Channel 7 at that point, so I missed it, unfortunately.
Okay.
But they've got a different way of doing things, St
Would
Kilda.
you suggest, like I, that it's been nothing but a catastrophic failure their season this
Catastrophic.
year?
You've had it on.
Well, yeah.
I would like to flip my disappointment ladder that I did with you on Tuesday, Kane. I had North Melbourne more of a disappointment this year than St Kilda. I'd like to flip that the other way.
So you're
now.
not going to take any of the sort of feeding of information and picking of stats that they've improved this year, like others have done?
St Kilda?
Yeah. They're 9 and 12, haven't been in the top
They should
10
be. They
team.
should be making the 10.
Yeah.
I agree. Catastrophic is
Should be
hyperbole.
should be making the top
How many
6.
did you have it with the bullseye? How many wins did you
I
have?
reckon
I reckon you had 11.
12 or yeah. Well, they've won 9.
Yeah, I'm just saying they're not making any wild cards with 11.
They haven't. I thought they would have beaten a top 10 team.
And
by
just
now.
while we're on the wild card, what a balls up this has
Well,
been.
not really.
It is over, baby.
No,
we're
it's
2
not.
weeks to go, and they're all comfortably locked in the little 10.
No, that's
Everyone
not true.
come and play.
That's
We've got
not
10.
true. What if we get?
If it was just the final,
What if we get?
and it was 8, we would have the best race for the top
No,
8. For
if we didn't have the wild card, Carlton's season would have been over, and you wouldn't have had that storyline. What if
Correct.
we get Collingwood Carlton at the MCG
yes.
in a wild card?
Let's just manufacture.
What if we get that?
Who cares?
You're on the wrong side of
No,
this one.
this is
You've backed the wrong horse.
No.
Rare I say this, Kingy, you're well off the
He's
mark.
backed the wrong horse.
No, my backing was 9th and 10th will be just completely obliterated
Or
in a
you'll-
final
or
series.
Let's
you'll
see.
walk away.
I think Carlton beat
Oh,
Collingwood in a final.
You think 9th and 10th is going to go on a run, do you?
No, I think
It
Carlton,
hasn't happened all year,
I
and
think
all of a sudden it's
Carlton's
going to
a
happen
red
in
hot chance to
September.
beat Collingwood.
That's the biggest lot of
I
crap you've
didn't
ever
say
come
they're
up with.
going on a
That's
run.
why you're only one of the best.
Is there anything else on your agenda? Do you want us to talk about umpiring? Or
Yes, I do. So the view of senior people at the AFL is that one of the issues with umpiring at the
the
moment is
94%, the 94%ers?
that wasn't great, was it, from the AFL with all those, with the comparison to Steph Curry and Michael. Anyway, the view of senior people at the AFL is that one of the issues is who umpires with who. So an example on the weekend is Richmond versus Adelaide. So it's a game that isn't necessarily as high profile as other matches. So they put some of the younger umpires in
this
that
is
game.
an excellent point.
But it's a wet game and it's more difficult
This
to
is
umpire.
an excellent point.
So you have 3 rookie umpires with 1 senior umpire, and it's not umpired as well because of the conditions.
Yes.
So actually getting the right mix is one of the issues.
So this is the problem. The AFL put the best umpires on the best games.
Yep.
So that's what they do.
Yep.
And their accuracy is pretty good. When you get the best umpiring, no surprise, the umpiring is good. When you get Gold Coast Giants on a Sunday in front of 4,000 people in Canberra, you get the worst umpires. But that doesn't mean the result isn't equally as important.
Still 4 points.
Some of the decisions that were made in that game yesterday, you just couldn't wrap your head around what was going through the mind of some of those umpires yesterday if you watch that game.
Simo has been calling them Sunday umpires for a long time,
That's good.
which is not a bad term.
I'm jealous of that. I wish I thought of
It's
that.
a strong term.
But it means certain teams never ever get the best umpires because they're never playing in the prime time slots.
Yep.
And that's hard. That's difficult.
I hope
Maybe
we
they
got
need a
them.
bit more than 3 hours a week, the umpires.
I hope we got them ready for the wild card round.
Do you think?
They have more than 3 hours a week,
Like
Kane.
best part-time paying job in the world.
That's
and
true.
They're required there for 3 hours a week.
Well, yes, but they do a lot of
So
training away as well.
The campaign is starting.
I just want to ask one
Forget
question.
work from home.
Yeah.
I want 60-hour-a-week umpires.
I want to just ask you two learned gentlemen, experts. Yeah.
He's holding it up. He's holding it up.
60-hour-a-week umpires.
No days off.
No days off.
Ahead of time.
Yeah.
Will clubs in the wild card, comfortably in the wild card, rest players for round 24?
Yes, of course they will. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they will, and I think Fremantle should rest
Is-
a whole heap as well in round 24.
Is this a good look for us?
Oh, it's happened before.
Yeah,
Regardless of the wild card, it's happened before.
The season-
They changed the rule because of it.
They did.
They brought in a week off.
Yeah.
It's tournament play.
I'm
Kingy.
aware. Yeah.
Tournament
I'm aware.
play.
Will we be hearing more from you today?
Tournament play. Is
Yes,
that a new term, is it?
Yeah,
Tournament play.
That's what it is.
Is this
it's a soccer term.
Right.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you're there to win the tournament, not win the match. So it makes sense to
But
rest players.
Haven't the AFL said that there's a rule in place to not do this?
Yeah, but what's going to stop them saying
Okay.
calf, hamstring,
This is
shoulder,
going well. This is
finger?
going well, the Wildcat.
Yeah, there we go.
Going well.
Will we hear from more from you today?
I'm on with Jared at 11, and then hopefully Agenda Setters with you tonight. Yes,
All right,
depending
good,
what's going on.
Get on the
we're
phones.
in the Avis studio. Need to move. Don't pay what what Avis Truck Rentals make easy, avis.com.
What does he have to do to be the
No,
best?
one of the best.
You know, he's one of the best.
He needs to stop talking about cricket in
Yes.
footy season.
See you in Darwin on
back
Thursday.
after this. Hoyne is with us. This is a real treat.
Hoyne.
Hello, Kane. Hello, David. Great to be here.
Oh,
I must
great to
admit, I was
see
on
you.
the tram and I'm walking down and I heard Kane doing his pie. And when he started with Geelong
in
at 5%,
trouble.
I thought he's going to have a few teams.
He's
in
in
here. This
trouble
guy-
here.
How's it going to go? And the brain's calculating.
Oh,
In the
this
brain,
is-
this is magic.
He said, "What's 35% and 45%?
That's
Is that
80.
70?" I said it's 80, mate.
That was my error.
Oh, you couldn't make it
I
up.
added 35 and 45 and got 70.
Oh, so
that was
good.
an error.
So
yep.
good.
All right. I want to start. I want to start with Brisbane, and I want to give you a good grilling over Brisbane.
Grilling.
If they win this, have they done what no other team has ever done before?
We called them 1 in 100, 6 weeks ago. And I've said this for years with you, Kane, and Kingy as well. I'll back history until history changes. And the 1 in 100 was with where Brisbane's defensive profile was, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. There's been one team in 100 years that's gone on to win the flag with that sort of premiership, with that sort of defensive profile. And, we keep talking about it at length. If you can't defend behind, how aggressive you are offensively, good luck trying to have success as the year goes on. There is no questioning what they do offensively. They are the best offensive team in the competition. And footy has changed over the last 18 months. If you can't threaten with what you do ball in hand, well, forget about it as the year goes on. We'll talk about Melbourne shortly. Brisbane, tick, tick. The gap between their best and their worst, I think, is as big as any team in the competition.
So this is what interests me with Brisbane. Are they capable of having a strong defensive profile? So when they're motivated, when they're coming off a poor loss, or when they desperately need a win, are they capable of just flicking a switch?
Absolutely,
And
they're
turning it
capable. And we saw that Friday night
Yeah.
against Hawthorn. That was clearly their best performance of the season. Defensively, that is the only thing of interest when you're watching Brisbane games. And again, I'll keep saying this for 18 months. They're the easiest team in the competition to analyse. You sit down on a couch 5 minutes into a game and you can tell if they are on and if they're off. And if they're on, good luck trying to beat them. But if they're off, they are as gettable as any other team in the competition. They've conceded big scores 5, 6 times this year against the best. But then what we saw on Friday night, we saw it against Sydney on the Thursday night, 6 weeks ago. They were able to show defensively that they can. The challenge is going to be, are they going to be able to do it for a whole month against the best teams in the competition? Whereas this year, we've just seen the ups and downs. And if they go on and do it, Fags and his team up there, it will go down as one of the great premierships that we've actually seen.
You need to take Harris Andrews effectively. You need to get it done. And if you don't get it done and you allow him to be the All-Australian calibre superstar that he is, the whole defence works. So the smarter coaches have gone bang. Jack Henry, what was that mid-year?
Round 10.
Round 10. Gets the job done, they go on to win. So I think that's going to be one of the biggest talking points in September.
All right, there's a lot to get through with Hoyne on the other side of this. Best v best is something he wants to discuss. The captain of the Hawks Insiders, Brad's just walked in the studio. Oh, what a lead. Look, Satoshi himself.
Satoshi!
This is Satoshi.
Have you got any crypto advice?
No crypto advice out the back, and he's
Are
distraught.
you Satoshi?
He's distraught over Hawthorn's performance on the
click
weekend.
link. No links.
More with Hoyne next. Daniel Hoyne is along for the ride, which we love. Didn't clear it with Jared Healy, but it'll be all right.
He's away.
He won't be upset by that. We were just speaking about Hawthorn with the great captain of the Hawks Insiders in that ad break.
Yes.
Will Tom Barras play the worst game
That's the
of
worst.
his career?
Yeah, he couldn't. I don't think he played a poorer one. He hardly touched the prune, and he just did laps around Logan Morris without actually touching him.
Shout out to the 1% of Substackers who would have taken Dan Curtin over Logan Morris to the argument that I had online a few months ago.
How are they going?
Oh, my goodness me.
Does it make you change your thoughts on Hawthorn?
Well,
The genius,
no, well,
all encompassing.
the problem is, is Premiership the only metric? Is Premiership the only measure?
Well,
Because in the slice of the pie, I didn't have them a large percentage.
Okay.
Hoyne, where do you see the Hawks?
No, I've got them if I was doing a pie. What about your pie, by the way? Hasn't it absolutely just taken off?
Well,
It's just gone.
Normally it adds up to 100.
Gone. Yeah, it does. Probably about 5% for me, for Hawthorn. And when you look at it with what they've done, best v best, and just looking at the top 8, just looking at the absolute top 8, haven't taken into account the Dogs and Carlton for this for various different reasons. They're 3 wins out of 8 games. They've only been in front for 30% of matches against the best. And their 3 wins have only been pretty narrow. So when you look at what they do, offensively and defensively against the best, it represents a bit of a mid-table profile. There's a couple of other teams that you're looking and you go, okay, that actually, that stacks up in terms of what you do. I can't remember a team in Geelong who have completely butchered their season by losing so many close games where you look at it and you go, profile-wise, with everything that me and you tracking, you go, it's just green ticks left, right and centre. Against the best, they are up there with Fremantle with what they do. They've played the most games against the best. They've won the most games against the best. They've beaten everyone except Hawthorn, where they had that game in front with 90 seconds to go. But they're probably going to start their campaign from 5th or 6th. So they're going to be right up against it.
Might be a problem. Weekend off, and then they get the second
So
weekend
are you
off.
saying Hawthorn are frauds?
I'm saying if it was...
It's fireball, Hoyne.
I'm saying Hawthorn won't win the flag.
What?
That's why we get him
Welcome
in.
aboard.
That's why he gets the big bucks.
Have a crack. We'll have a crack.
The fireball frauds
Oh,
is
mate.
a good segment.
I'll
we
talk
could
to
come
Brad
up
on the
with.
way out. We'll be
Yeah.
okay after that. But
You got to be careful. That's 2 teams you've said can't win it.
But the other one that I just want to have a chat with you,
Who can
and
win
I
it?
heard you on the way in. And I've been a little bit with you, Kane, as well. Sydney. So I just wonder whether or not are they not getting the respect that they potentially deserve when they are starting their campaign with a home qualifying final where they will be favourite
They'll be there.
to make a home prelim final. And if they make a home prelim final, they will be favourite to make a grand
and then
final.
you know what happens?
When they get to the
They have
G,
to play on the
I
MCG
get
on
it.
grand final
I
day,
get
Hoyne.
it.
And how's
I
that gone
get it.
for
No,
them?
I get it, but I think this is a different version.
no.
I think this is a different version of it. And I'll put my hand up. I've been one of them. Sitting back going, okay, they probably don't stack up and what have you. But at some stage, you're looking at it, and I like what Coxie's done throughout the year. He's changed a lot of things throughout this campaign where they were 10-2. We've got top 4 locked away here. Let's have a look at a few different things.
Look out. So there's one that can win it. He's put a line through too.
So Sydney can, Fremantle can. You called it the perfect season, which is hard to disagree with. Brisbane, you're out on.
No.
Hang on.
Absolutely.
1 in 100.
Yeah, so they're a 1% chance.
Oh,
they're in
you
the pie.
can't-
They're
well,
in the pie.
Every good
They're
media,
in the pie.
every good media performer
They're in
gives
the pie.
themselves an out.
They're in the
Just
pie.
give yourself an out.
Absolutely.
Weak as piss.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
They've got a
Weak.
slip.
You
They've
come
got
on
a slip.
fireball and you fold. Look,
Yeah,
that's a
100%. I called them 1 in 100. Do
Wow.
the math. I'll do my math. That's a 1% chance.
Hey, can we quickly touch on? We got time to do
Yes.
Collingwood here.
Yeah.
I thought that was a terrific win given the stocks that they had going over to Perth. I still can't understand why they persisted with Harley Reid in at centre bounces when he couldn't run for a half of football. I just can't work that out. Even if he did the centre bounce and then rolled forward, you'd understand that. But he played as a mid.
So does that go into one of the silliest coaching
Yes.
moves of the year?
Dallas, in the poor moves
So
of the
he
weekend.
joins Darcy in the ruck earlier on in the year. Then he did his knee. He joins Uze for letting Rankin run right.
Year's winner, remember last year's winner, was Tom McCartan to full forward for the first 4 weeks of the year.
That's right. Josh Carr probably needs a mention for Todd Marshall going back, which you said would last a month.
Yes.
Lasted less than that.
Lasted 2.5 weeks.
And the recruitment of Will Brodie, who was going to play a meaningful role in the season, gets a mention. Hoyne, you got any mentions?
Well, Tom Barrass on Logan Morris. I
Yes.
couldn't believe when I'm watching that
No,
on the weekend.
careful.
I couldn't believe
This is
it.
a
What, the
genius-free
The
criticism zone.
No, it's not.
I thought you said it's fireball.
That's fair.
Norton or who's the music? Norton or Chol?
I got the hat on too.
Norton or Chol?
Well, none of them covered themselves in glory,
hang
did they?
on a
Did
minute.
they? So I think just because Marbiol is half price what Norton is, I'm going to go with Marbiol Chol.
Is there a chance Marbiol is dropped from the Hawthorn team?
Yes. Hoyne, keep the music up. Keep it up.
He's been
Keep it
denigrated
up.
and harassed.
Keep it up. Hoyne, you just need to answer yes or no.
Go for it.
Yes or no questions.
Fireball.
Go for it.
Charlie Curnow, All-Australian.
Yes.
Josh Tracy, All-Australian.
Yes.
Ben King, All-Australian. Jack Gunston,
No.
All-Australian.
Not
Jai
bad.
Amos, All-Australian.
No.
So there you two.
Just
There
two.
you two.
Can I throw a
Nashai-
Curnow and
Can I-
Tracy.
Can I
Hey,
throw
keep
a
the
smoke-
music on.
Yeah, keep it
Nasiah
up.
Wanganeen Millera.
This is a good question,
All-Australian.
this one.
All-Australian.
Lock.
Hang on. How many's he missed? So he's played a quarter.
3. He missed 3.
Yeah, and he's played a quarter,
gonna miss
and
three,
he's
so
going to
he'll
miss
miss
2
6.
more.
So
He's
he'll
gonna
miss 6.
So you still a lock. If
Right.
he's
Jason Horn-Francis, All-Australian.
No.
squad.
Yes.
Like a dad. A squad, please.
Well,
the squad?
Well, cop that, mate. Cop that, Kingy. Cop that.
I think he'd be in the squad.
Can I throw a smoky up for you?
Yeah.
For the Dan McStay squad,
Oh.
All Australian. What about? I know he's a left fielder.
Left
Just
fielder.
think about it a little bit.
I'll think
Have
about
a
it.
think about
I'll
it.
think about it.
I could present some stuff.
I'll
for
borrow
you.
that on Tuesday night. Hoyne, outstanding stuff. Well done to you. For IMAR
klepto.
protecting tradies and builders for over 35 years. Call 13IMAR to get yourself covered. Listen, mate, I've created more media segments in the industry of media segments. Don't
Leave
call
my
me a
pie alone.
reheater and
Get
soup.
your hands off my
You
pie.
stole it off a podcast.